I just rewatched The Sixth Sense and I think that there is a second twist. I don't see anyone talking about it. It is crazy to me that we are coming up on a whole generation of people who haven't been spoiled by The Sixth Sense. So if that's you, turn off this video because I don't want to spoil it for you. Hi, I'm Almie Rose. I talk a lot about pop culture when I'm not at Disneyland, and today I'd like to talk about The Sixth Sense. I think that his wife, like Cole, Haley Joel Osment's character, could also communicate and see the dead. The very first scene of The Sixth Sense is in the basement of Bruce Willis's, I forget his name, I'm sorry, Bruce Willis's home and his wife's home. And it's of his wife in their basement. That is the very first scene in this movie. She is in their basement / wine cellar, and she suddenly gets very cold. What do we know about cold in this movie? Haley Joel Osment's character also gets cold when there is a ghost present. Bruce Willis's wife, at the end of the movie, when it's revealed that Bruce Willis is a ghost, she starts shivering in her sleep, I'll get to that later, and we see her breath because it's so cold. The only other person whose breath we have seen when it is that cold is Haley Joel Osment's. Haley Joel Osment's character told Bruce Willis's character, Malcolm, that's his name. Cole tells Malcolm that, like, maybe your wife will hear you if you talk to her while she's sleeping because she'll have to hear you. I think that she knew that he was dead this whole time, and she was so brokenhearted that even in death, this dude was choosing work before her. The movie starts, he gets shot, and then it says one fall later. It has been a whole year. Not only does he not know that he's dead, but this whole time he's still wrapped up in work. Imagine being this dude's wife, and your biggest issue with him when he was alive was that he put his work before you. And now he's dead and he's still doing that? Like, oh my, no wonder she was passive aggressive with him. Remember that scene where, like, she's at dinner and, like, he shows up and, like, you think that, like, she's ignoring him and then you find out he's dead? No, I think she totally saw him. She looked right at him before she said happy anniversary. I think she did see him. And I think that she's really mad at him that even in death, this guy still doesn't get it. Like, come on. And I think that's why she stayed in their house. Why would she stay in that house? Because Bruce Willis is in that house. Because she thought, oh, well, I can't leave him. So I think at the end, she was pretending to sleep.
Why, Malcolm?
What? What is it? What?
Why did you leave me?
Because she wanted to hear what he had to say. And then he finally came through. And then she was finally like, oh, I forgive you. So truthfully, look, I don't know if she could actually see him. But I do think that the movie was hinting that she had ghosty abilities like Cole did. They made a point to show that the very first scene is her being cold in that basement. We know what cold represents. They make a point at the very end of the movie to show her shivering and her breath in the cold. The only other person that happens to is Cole. She's holding his ring and she drops it. She did that on purpose to finally get him to see. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But I think that it's actually funnier if you believe that this movie is about a boy and his ghost therapist and his wife who hates him. I was wondering the whole time, why didn't he just say to Bruce Willis, like, hey, sir, you are dead and we don't have to do therapy. Ghost Therapist could be a TV show on NBC. Ooh, if they got Glenn Howerton. What do you think? Is it a second twist in The Sixth Sense? Do you think some of it could be legit? Speaking of the twist, so I had not had the twist spoiled for me when I first watched it. And I first watched it on home video with my parents. My mom falls asleep pretty much at the very beginning of the movie. At the very end, she wakes up right when the twist is revealed, and she's trying to pretend like she wasn't asleep the whole time. My mom says, oh my God, she was dead the whole time? And I'm like, oh, is that what's going on? Oh, so his wife was dead? But then they show her breathing, her breath showing in the cold, and I'm thinking, like, this doesn't make sense though. If she's dead, like, why would we see her breath? My dad says, no, he was dead the whole time. And I go, oh. But for that moment, my mom kind of ruined the twist for me by giving her own twist. That wasn't the twist. For every night of October, my husband and I are watching or rewatching spooky movies. Would you like to hear more thoughts about those? And could you possibly suggest some movies for us to watch? Tell me your best scary movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.